This is Hank, and he's got a huge problem. He desperately wants to fix his own car, but his new car won't let him. It seems to have a brain of its own. See, Hank's new car had a problem last week. Nothing serious, just the headlight. $40 at the parts store. And Hank's fixed headlights before 100 times. So he pops the part in, closes the hood, turns the key. Nothing. The dashboard lights up instead. A little message. The car has looked at Hank's brand new part, checked its papers, and decided it doesn't know this guy. Computer says no, his car says. Wait, why? What in the actual land of stupidity is going on here? Hank thinks to himself. The part's in his hand. The car's right there. So how come Hank can't put the one into the other? Hold that thought. Because the answer is going to cost him a whole bunch of dollars. This is the car repair scam explained using logical sarcasm and a cold cup of coffee. So how did we get here? Let's rewind a bit. Years ago, a clever man named Uncle Gears built cars. Good ones. And back then, when your car broke, you fixed it. Or your buddy fixed it. Or the little shop down the road fixed it. Simple. But Uncle Gears did some math. If I sell one car, I only get paid once, he thought. But repairs? Those go on forever. Now that's a big pile of dollars worth chasing, he thought to himself in his evil little mind whilst licking his lips. So here's what he came up with. He started stamping little serial numbers on the parts. Sounds boring, right? It was. Just a number so the factory could keep track. Anti-theft, he said. Quality control, he said. Nobody complained. But Uncle Gears, being the evil genius that he is, got an even brighter idea. Secretly, Uncle Gears taught the car to read those numbers, and then he taught it to be picky. Now when you pop in a new part, the car checks the number, doesn't recognize it, and folds its arms. The part's dead on arrival. It won't wake up until somebody calls Uncle Gears's office and asks, very nicely, for permission to install the part. And the answer is usually yes, if you pay up, of course. This little stunt even has a name, parts pairing. In other words, your car now needs a permission slip to accept its own parts. Nice. And it gets worse, logically. Because geniuses never sleep. In this manufactured inconvenience to his customers, Uncle Gears found a loophole he couldn't resist, and it's a thing of beauty. There's an old concrete jungle law, written ages ago to stop men copying movies, all about how you mustn't pick a digital lock. And Uncle Gears looked at that law, then looked at the digital lock he'd just bolted onto car headlights, and he grinned. Because now, if you pick that lock to fix your own car, you're not a man with a wrench anymore. On paper, you're a criminal. Hell, you might as well have robbed a bank. Genius, really. But why stop at one part? Exactly. Uncle Gears didn't. First it was the headlight, then came the screen, then the climate control, then the speedometer. Pull a perfectly good one from an identical car in the junkyard, bolt it in, and it sits there dark until a dealer for Uncle Gears charges you $400 to switch it on. For a part which is basically free. The permission is the whole bill. Then the door handle wants ID. Then the battery. At this rate, you'll climb in one morning and the car will ask to see your paperwork before it agrees to be driven. Lovely. So who wins here? Take a wild guess. Uncle Gears wins? Of course. Every locked part marches Hank straight back to the dealership, where Uncle Gears sets the price. And the competition? Quietly shown the door. A repair that used to cost $40 now costs $400, times every car, times every year. You see why this was worth building, right? And who loses? Well, Hank, obviously. But Hank's not the only one. Meet old Greg. Old Greg's run the little repair shop across town. 30 years. Honest work. Fair price, knows every car on the block. He could fix Hank's car with his eyes closed. What he can't do is get past Uncle Gears's locks. The tools, the codes, the permissions. They all go to Uncle Gears's dealership. Nobody else's. Little shops like Old Greg's still handle most repairs once the warranty's up. They're how a normal man keeps a car alive. But one locked part at a time, they're getting squeezed out. Not because they're bad at the job, because Uncle Gears's greedy little paws won't give them a key. But how does this affect regular men like you and me? You might be thinking, why should I care? Fair point, my friend. But here's the thing. It doesn't stop at cars. Logically. Your phone does it too. Swap the screen for a cheaper one, and the fingerprint reader dies. Just like that. Logical. Now tractors do it. Picture a farmer, a $500,000 machine, locked out of his own harvest by a $10 sensor he's not allowed to touch. Even fridges do it now. Use the wrong water filter and they throw a fit. The car? That's just where Uncle Gears got greedy first. So, is anybody fighting back? Actually, yes. And Uncle Gears hates it. A bunch of men got organized. They call it the right to repair. And when one state let the men vote on whether Uncle Gears had to hand over the keys, they didn't just pass it. They passed it in a landslide. Then did it again. More and more states are banning these locks outright. But don't think Uncle Gears is taking this lying down. Oh no. He's got lawyers. Lots of them. And they'll tell anyone who'll listen that letting you fix your own car is terribly, terribly dangerous. That your car will explode. Logically. That his locks are there to keep you safe. The first law passed. His people tied it up in court. For years. Before it could so much as bite. All to protect you, of course. So what's a man to do? Well, next time something breaks, ask the dealership the question they're hoping you won't. Is this part locked? And what does it cost to unlock it? Hunt down the old Gregs while they're still alive? Give them the work. Speak up to your leaders of men about the right to repair. Because the more noise the concrete jungle makes, the harder this gets to ignore. So the next time your car turns down a part you already paid for, or the bill comes back 4 times what it should, you'll have a pretty good idea what's really going on behind the scenes. And it's all logical. So if any men are confused, just remember this is a simple explainer about the car repair market, and any resemblance to a real company that locks real parts onto real cars is completely coincidental. Please do not sue. And a huge thanks to those watching and sharing our videos. You're all truly wonderful, and we'll see you in the next one.